Rolex have stealth dropped a new watch, and here's what you need to know. But first of all, I'm not a watch expert. I'm just a nerd about watches and stuff, and I do it for a job, and I do it for a hobby, and yeah, so if you want to correct me on anything, or if you just have anything to add, pop down into the comments and say stuff. And whilst you're down there, why not like, subscribe, ding that bell icon so you never miss another video, and let's get to it. So Rolex. They very quietly, stealthily announced a new watch at the Oscars. The Oscars were on the 10th of March, and it was the 96th Academy Awards, and there was a couple noteworthy things to do with the Oscars. Obviously, we're not a film channel, but essentially, Oppenheimer sort of swept it. They got 7 Oscars, I believe. Cillian Murphy won Best Actor.
I always used to say Sicilian.
Sicilian. Oh, Sicilian Murphy. He's a Sicilian Murphy. Yeah, get it? Because he's from Sicily. Robert Downey Jr. finally got an Oscar. Emma Stone won an Oscar for her weird Frankenstein thing.
Film. I've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good.
I know Willem Dafoe's in it. Doesn't get cock out, which is a shame because apparently it's massive.
I've seen that in
it's massive.
in the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know Willem Dafoe needs a double? So Rolex is the cinema, it's the partner for the Academy Awards and the sponsor of the Oscars green rooms, which is a good name because Rolex equals green.
I'm surprised Hamilton isn't the sponsor, considering they're like in every single film.
Get into that. I'm going to mention that. Hamilton, we like Hamilton on this channel, they're cool. So Rolex, they've had a long storied history on screens, and it's interesting because over the past near century, Rolex haven't ever really paid for product placements in films. And that's where Hamilton comes in, because neither's Hamilton. Hamilton's loved by prop masters and stuff, so they just use Hamiltons, whereas I think Rolex has such a central place in the film industry simply because they're so part of the cultural zeitgeist. You can convey so much about a character's personality if you pop a Rolex on their wrist, so you don't need to pay for a product placement. For example, American Psycho, enough said. Anyway, so it's part of the Oscars. Essentially, there was a clip reel showing Rolexes in various models in various movies, and yesterday, during the Oscars, Rolex obviously released a brand new reel. They do it every year. There was a lot of things, a lot of watches to be seen in that reel. One of the films included in the reel, apparently, was John Hamm in Confess Fletch, wearing a Rolex Submariner reference 1680. Can you tell I'm reading the Hodinkee article? Because we're journalistically independent on this channel. It was chosen by the prop master, Catherine Miller. Anyway, that's a digression. The end of the video has a little Rolex advertisement, as you might expect. It's Rolex. Just like you might see at tennis or any other Rolex sponsored event. What was the watch in this video? We're finally talking about it. However long into the video? Good question. Essentially, a Rolex not on someone's wrist sort of hovers onto screen, and it was a 40mm Everose daydate Roman numeral hour markers with a ombre shadow rhodium type dial. And the internet was like, what's that? Never seen that before. And that was the watch released. Ceremonious. Yeah, ceremonious. I mean, it's more ceremonious than most of the watches that are dropped outside of Watches and Wonders. At least it was actually featured somewhere. Anyway, so the watch community sort of dropped into hyperdrive, I guess. It went because the watch didn't exist before that was shown on screen. So now we've got an ombre / blackish, greyish, shadowy daydate, and it's really nice. Obviously, it's 18 karat gold. It's 40mm. It's a daydate, so it's on the presidential bracelet. It's got those really nice stylized Roman numerals, and honestly, I think this watch is fantastic looking. The only place you can find mention of this watch, an official mention, is on the Rolex website, and it has a landing page for the Oscars, of course. You can't configure it on their website. You can't, because obviously Rolex have their configurer. You can't select daydate, bezel, size, material, and all that. This dial option just isn't there, doesn't exist. But apparently it does exist now. So essentially, this is a similar sort of soft release as when Daniel Craig wore his White Dial Speedmaster to an award show in New York last year. They're sort of going, yeah, look at me, I exist. But no, I don't, because you can't buy me. And anyway, it's a daydate, so you can't buy it anyway. It's almost exactly the same as when Rolex released the Vienna, or they released a special daydate in collaboration with the Vienna Philharmonic. I think that was a very nice looking watch. The Vienna Philharmonic. They do it often. For example, the Le Mans Daytona for the 100-year anniversary. But this is a very nice watch. It's less in your face with its collaborative aspects. It's just nice. The Shadow Rhodium Ombre thing dial plays really nice with the Ever Rose, and that's all I have to say. Terry, what do you have to say?
Where would you put it in the Rolex tier list?
So long since we filmed that. I think second from top. Second down.
Special?
It's a special watch. It's not quite an olive dial daydate, but it's very nice. It's very nice. What do you all think? Pop down into the comments and let me know. This was a weird video. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, watch yourselves.